Hello BBS, today I'm going to teach you how to make Emily's pasta with broccoli. So I found that it's helpful to get all the equipment and the ingredients together before you start. For ingredients, you're going to need 1 to 2 stalks of broccoli, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 clove of garlic, salt and pepper, a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 2 cups of rotini pasta, and yeah. So for this recipe, I usually do things starting off with the broccoli, and then going to the pasta and then the sauce. So for the broccoli, you're going to start by taking both stalks and washing them. And then, one by one, you're going to slowly and carefully cut off this, the top leafy green part. And while you're doing this, remember to practice proper knife safety. Always cut away from yourself and your fingers. So once you've got the first head done, you're going to put those into your pot from earlier. And you're going to start on cutting the second head. So there's the second head done, and we're also going to put that one into the pot. Then you're going to want to transfer the broccoli that you've cut into a bowl from the pot so that you can fill the pot with water. About there. That looks good. And we're going to start the water at high so that it can boil. We'll put the lid on too. So while that pot's going to be for the broccoli, we're going to fill another pot with about the same amount of water and put it on another part of the stove on high so that it can boil, and that one will be for the pasta. So while you're waiting for your water to boil, you're going to want to get your pasta ready to go in. You're also going to want to prepare the salt that goes into the pasta water while it's boiling. So if possible, you're going to want to do this over the sink. There we go. And then you're going to grab your dry towel to protect your hand while you're opening the lid. Open it away from you so that any steam goes in the opposite direction, and just sprinkle your salt in. For measuring your pasta, you're going to take your 1 cup measure and your box of pasta, and you're going to measure out 2 cups. And you're going to pour it over the bowl that you're going to keep your unboiled pasta in, so that if any spills, it's in the bowl. There's our first cup, still need 1 more. And there's your other cup. So now you've got your 2 pots of boiling water. In the smaller one, you're going to pour in your broccoli. And in the bigger one, you're going to dump in your pasta. Now that you've done that, you can turn the water down to medium for both of them. And for the broccoli, you're going to want to put the lid back on. The pasta is going to need to boil for about 7 minutes, so you'll want to set a timer for that. And then the broccoli is also around 7 minutes, so you'll just take it out whenever the pasta is done. So now that you've got the pasta and the broccoli cooking, you're going to start on preparing your sauce ingredients. So first you're going to need 1 clove of garlic, and you're going to want to cut off both ends, and you can throw those ones away. And then if you have a garlic mincer or something like that, that is the perfect tool for this, but if you don't, you're just going to use your knife safely, or maybe ask an adult to help, and you're just going to cut it into very small pieces. The second part of sauce preparation is to get the olive oil ready. So for this, you're going to need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. For this part, it's easiest if you have a little bowl to put those 2 tablespoons in. And you're going to measure the olive oil over the bowl so that if any spills, you're okay. The final part of sauce preparation is the butter. So salted or unsalted is fine, but you're going to want to make sure that you have 2 tablespoons. Finally, you might have a little extra time in between, sauce preparation and when the timer runs out. So what's helpful to do is to measure out your Parmesan for later. So when the timer goes off, the first thing you're going to want to do is turn both of the stovetops off. Next, you're going to want to carefully bring both of them over to the sink so that you can strain. I recommend straining the broccoli first. Now you can get an adult to help you with this part if you don't feel comfortable with it, and that's totally fine. There's going to be a lot of steam, and then you're going to grab a bowl, some serving bowl or a bowl big enough, and put your broccoli into it. So then you're gonna put your broccoli into that bowl, and you're just gonna let it sit on the counter over there. Then you're gonna bring over your pasta, and now that you've got your pasta, you're gonna put it in with the broccoli in your bowl. And now we're gonna work on the sauce. So you're gonna bring your saucepan up to the front, and you're going to turn it on low to medium heat. It shouldn't be very hot because it's very easy to burn the butter, which is not something we wanna do. The first part of the sauce is to put the butter into the pan. Alright, so now that your butter is fully melted, you're going to grab your olive oil and you're going to pour it in with your butter. And mix them around. At this point, you're just kind of waiting for it to get a little bit of a sizzle. Because once there are a few tiny bubbles at the bottom, you can add the garlic in and start stirring. Now these little bubbles are exactly what we want. So now we are going to add in the garlic. So the idea here is to wait until the garlic gets golden brown. So see how fizzy it's getting? That's maybe an indication that it's time to stop. So you want to turn off the heat at this point. Now that you've got your sauce ready, grab your bowl. But basically, you're going to want to pour it in. Then you've got your sauce. There are two ways that you can put the sauce in. So if you have one of these strainers, that is great for this. You can just pour it through there and it'll catch any extra bits of garlic. If you don't have one of those strainers, that is also okay. You can use a fork to hold back any garlic in the bowl, and you can put the fork in to catch any loose bits of garlic. There's the extra bits of garlic, which you can throw out. And now you've got your sauce in, and your broccoli, and your pasta. So you can mix up all of those. Now, from what we were measuring before, we have our 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, and we can just sprinkle that on. Mix that in too. And once that looks like it's in, you're gonna grab the final ingredient, which is salt and pepper. So for these, this is where your 1/4 teaspoon measure comes in. You're going to fill it partially with salt, partially with pepper. It's okay if you have more of one or the other, doesn't really matter. Now that you've got pretty much a 1/4 teaspoon, you can just sprinkle that over it, and we're gonna mix that in too. And now you are done and ready to share it with your family. Thanks.